Well, hey there, my bouncing bunnies, my cheerful chickadees, and all the other spring celebrating witches and pagans of YouTube. It's me, your boy Shane, and welcome back to my channel, as the case may be. Today, I just wanted to get into like a short seasonal craft because I don't have the bandwidth for much else. And it's something that everyone can do with some items you have hanging around the house, right? That's a lot of my favorite type of magic, involves household items and inexpensive items. That's, I know I've spoken about that on this channel before. Also before on this channel, I have a habit of saying, oh, I read this great ritual, this wonderful craft idea, this fantastic spell, this beautiful incantation, and I cannot for the life of me remember where I read it, where I heard it, where I saw it. Strikes again, because the craft I'm going to show you is not my design, it's not my idea, it's not my original thought. I definitely read or saw it somewhere, and God, my memory is failing me. I thought that it was in this book, right? The Ostara. This was like part of a Sabbath series that Llewellyn did years and years ago. Still pretty good. The stuff holds up. I mean, maybe not all the history, right? But recipes, spells, customs from traditions from around the world, really cute stuff like that you could incorporate either into a coven ritual, a solitary ritual, or just like around the house, like things to do with your family, foods to eat, games to play, whatever. There's, like I said, there's 8 of them by 8 different authors. They're really cute series. So I was like, oh, it's gotta be in here. It's not in there. That was my best guess, and no, strike out. Struck out. Anyway, I know verb tense agreement. So yeah, this is, it's gonna be like a little window hanging, and the idea behind it is, you're going to write your wishes or intentions or your spells or your goals or however you conceive of this, kind of magical practice or this magical craft on brightly colored ribbons or pastel colored ribbons, whatever colors kind of say spring to you. And we're gonna put them on like a stick and kind of attach it to a little hanger and hang it in the window so that when the ribbons blow in the breeze, it's kind of like bringing energy towards your goal. Kind of in the same, theoretical kind of thinking as like a Tibetan prayer wheel or a Tibetan prayer flag, right? As they flap in the breeze, that's kind of like, bringing your prayers to the gods, or the wheel, spinning the prayer wheel is kind of akin to reciting the mantra. So same concept, not trying to be culturally appropriative, trying to change it up enough so that it's just, taking appreciation and inspiration for that kind of, that concept and applying it to kind of like a neo-pagan application. So let's get into it.
All right, so here's what you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is some permanent markers. Obviously, if you have fabric markers, that's ideal, but not everyone has fabric markers. So here I've got a couple of Sharpies in some fabulously seasonal spring colors. If you don't have that, no need to buy anything new or special for this project. I'm a big fan of saving money and using what you have on hand, like I said. So plain black will do if that's what you've got. The next thing you're going to need are a bunch of ribbons or even thin fabric scraps if that's what you have on hand. I try not to get too precious with it. I like all different colors, all different materials, all different finishes. If you're doing this craft alone, you can kind of match up your magical goal with the color. Maybe you like yellow ribbons for physical energy, or green for prosperity, or pink for friendship, whatever. If you're doing this with a group, you could have a different color ribbon for each member of your family, or a different color ribbon for each member of your coven, or whoever's participating in this. But yeah, different lengths. You'll get a really cool kind of aesthetic if it's all kind of mixed and matched. Now here I wanted to use this for something because it's just such a beautiful lilac or lavender color, whatever you want to call it, that just screams spring to me. But it's a little bit of a thick boy, so I didn't think it was going to work for this project. I'm going to have to save it for something else. So the rest of this is pretty simple and straightforward, right? You're going to take a ribbon and then you are going to write either a few words or a sentence, or, I mean, you could even draw like some symbols or runes or Theban script or pictograms or hieroglyphs if that's your thing, right? A lot of people like to use full sentences, phrasing their magic in like the present tense as if it's already come to fruition. Affirmations such as like, I enjoy 8 hours of sleep a night, or, I am prosperous and all my material needs are met. I tend to just go with a couple of words, so here I've just written restful sleep. And this is a cotton ribbon, and so you can see with the Sharpie marker, I don't have fabric markers, so if you use a regular Sharpie, it is going to bleed and blur just a little bit. You can kind of see the letters are blowing out, and there's some spreading. And that's going to depend on, like I said, the markers and also the fiber content of the ribbon that you're using. I don't mind it because I know what I've written down, and I don't mind at all if it's completely obscured, because, like I said, the magic is for me, and maybe not necessarily everyone walking past my window needs to see what I've written on my ribbons and needs to know what I'm doing work for. So this pink ribbon that is more rayon in the fiber content, now that blurred a lot. I believe the original phrase I wrote down was peaceful and harmonious home life, and you can't even see more than a letter or two of that. But like I said, I'm okay with that, but your mileage may vary. So use whatever fiber content, whatever markers, and whatever techniques are going to be best for you and that you find most aesthetically pleasing. If the blurring and the blowing out of the letters really bothers you, you could also use like a label maker. I have like a little standard P-Touch, and so I wanted to see if this would work. So if it's really important to you that the words or the phrasing is very clean and neat and legible, you can always print it up on a label maker and slap that on a ribbon. I don't know. It adhered pretty well. I don't know, like, if that's going to last for, like, days or weeks or months, but it sticks, it adheres, so experiment with that. And here I've gotten a stick, which I probably should have mentioned in the beginning, along with the ribbons and the markers, that you'll need some sort of stick. This is just a stick that had fallen in my backyard. I've got plenty of them, so I just picked up one that was a good size, a good length, and a good thickness. You can always get like a dowel from the craft store, or, hell, you can even use like a curtain rod, right? Like if you have like a tension rod in your window or something. But so you're going to need a stick, and what I'm doing here is like a basic, I think it's called a lark's head knot, and it's quite simple. I like the way it looks when the ribbons are doubled over and kind of like knotted through. And I hope my demonstration is pretty easy to watch and observe. I was like, I don't want to have a podcast. I want to have a YouTube channel so I can demonstrate stuff. And then my fat fingers get in the way. But you should have a pretty decent idea of what we're doing. You don't have to double over the ribbons. You could always just tie one end and then have the other end loose. But that's how I like it. And here they all are. Again, I don't like to get too precious with it. I like kind of a random look, so I haven't done any kind of pattern. But if you want to add some kind of pattern, either by working with the colors or the, fabric types, that's up to you. Go for it. Whatever's going to make it most meaningful. The last thing that I do is I attach a little hanger by adding another strip of ribbon or lace or fabric to two ends of the stick, and then kind of suspending it from the center from this little 3M command hook that I've got stuck to my window. And then it blows very nicely in the breeze, and you can also add little chimes or little bells to the bottom of the ribbons if you enjoy like an auditory element to your spells.
So yeah, if you give it a try, I would love to hear about it in the comments, as well as if you have any other crafts or traditions that you take part in at this time of year. I know the spring equinox has come and gone, and Easter Sunday has come and gone, unless you follow the Orthodox calendar. You know, some of these things, wreath making or, you know, Fabergé eggs or like making this craft or other stuff, you know, it's good for the entire season. It's good for the entirety of spring. You don't have to be limited to 1 or 2 calendar days or celebrations. You know, like this is a great craft that I would do all throughout, you know, March and April and May and just keep that magic flowing and going and growing. You know, maybe not in the summer because where I live in New York City, the air is very like heavy and hot and still in the summer. So we're not getting that like nice breezy action that moves the ribbons around. But yeah, but like you've got a whole like 3 months of spring breezes to capitalize on. So it doesn't matter that the equinox is past, you know, just have some fun seasonal celebrations. And like I said, let me know all about it below. I love having those conversations with you. And that's about it. Until next time, friends, you know what to do. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Be well.